Have you seen that with other people? Like when you think through the most successful founders who've gone through your platform, or founders that you've known, or entrepreneurs that you've known, do they play that sort of generosity game, or the 3D chess game, or what are they playing at that makes them a little bit more successful?
I don't, when we say 2 or 3D chess, that almost sounds like they're thinking they're like manipulating, and that has a little bit of negative connotation to it. I feel like they're just like, hey, I love what I do. I'm going to share my energy with others, knowing it'll come back. I don't feel it's that sort of.
But to be clear, like, is that what leads to an excellent entrepreneur? Like, and by that I mean like building a company that is a big success, right? I can make an argument on both sides where you could be the sort of founder who is playing absolute just 3D chess. I give you this, I expect this back. And maybe they do it generously up front, knowing they're going to make this ask later. And maybe they're the really smart ones. And they're not generous at all. And they are keeping everything tight, close to the chest. They're not going to share a lot with people. They don't want to share a lot with people. They don't want you to know what they're building, why they're building it, how they're building it, where they're going. Are those the people that are more successful, or is it being more generous and giving back to the ecosystem? That might be karma-wise better to do, right? It may be better for your own karma to do that. Like, I could also argue, okay, your podcast is really generous to give out all those tips and tricks. It's also good marketing for you, but you could also put some of that behind a paywall and say, hey, like, you want to go in the real depth here. Here's like, you got to pay a little bit more to do it. What is a truly great entrepreneur going to do on those two fronts?
Listen, it's an interesting question. You think about folks, and I don't know these people personally, Larry Ellison, Travis Kalanick, there are some of these entrepreneurs from decades past or that are just so driven. They don't seem like really nice guys. Again, I don't know them. They might be super nice. They seem like turbo, AAA personality types who make it happen, right? And then there are others, will it into existence. That's a great way to put it. Those guys, I doubt they're sort of, again, I don't know them, but don't get the sense that they're sort of leading with generosity and then hoping. But then I've interacted with, and maybe it's a bias thing or a self-selection bias or something, but I know others that are just, hey, it takes a village to raise a startup, and I'm going to kind of create my village, and I'm going to have fans and champions who will help me along the way by paying it forward and just being generous with time, energy, and contacts and intros and feedback and guidance, right? I mean, there's a lot of people who have been very successful in that approach. So I don't know if I'm answering the question, but
sort of, you're kind of giving both answers, right? I would say I'd push back maybe a little bit and say a little bit, at least I'll tell you my opinion, which is, and to be clear, I'm not sure where I stand on it. Actually, I do know where I stand on this a little bit, but like, I think the founders who are most hardcore isn't even quite the right term. They're like almost don't care, like don't like, almost like they are going to do everything they can to make their startup a success, and everything else doesn't matter. Like, they will say no to all other things. They will say no to other distractions. They will say no to helping anyone else because it does not directly impact them in their business today. Like, they are so obsessed and so focused that it seems from the outside that they are a-holes and they are not good people and they are not doing those things. I believe those are probably the ones who in many cases make the most successful businesses. I don't know if I worry about this myself. Like, part of this podcast exists because it's a journey for me to learn how to become better at this craft. And I've been doing it at 4 startups now and invested in 200, as you know. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Do I have that killer instinct, or am I too willing to say yes to people and to meet up for a coffee and chat and help the ecosystem out? And not enough saying no all the time to just be laser focused on what I need to do to make sure I win and crush my competition.